Nobody's impressed at all with what you're doing here.
Video on Ken Berry lost a lot of subscribers.
There you go. Rightly so.
People were angry about it. They were angry.
Rightly so.
That I was criticizing him.
Rightly so. You've got no business criticizing Ken Berry. Son, show some respect to your elders and betters.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Carnivore Quest. My name's Larry.
And I'm Cassie.
And today we're doing another reaction video. This is our third reaction video we've ever done. The first one we did was Cassie reacting to a bunch of extreme vegans. And then I reacted to Dr. Sean Baker's Marshmallow Man video. And now we got Professor Bart Kay kind of laying the smackdown on Joey Schwartz, which we've kind of been following this story for a little while, and it's been interesting.
To get you all up to speed, we featured both Professor Bart Kay and Joey on our Carnivore Top 10 videos.
Yeah. Professor Kay was number 7 on our list, and for those of you who have never seen him, here's a quick clip to get you acquainted.
Number 7, Bart Kay.
I have with me today Bart Kay, who is a walking encyclopedia of all things physiology, molecular biology, and biochemistry.
Now that's an introduction. Arguably the most knowledgeable person on our list today. He is a professor in cardiovascular and respiratory physiology, exercise physiology, nutrition, research methods, and statistics. Put simply, if you're going to debate a vegan, bring Bart Kay with you.
If you were open to having a data-driven debate, which it doesn't seem that you are.
I'm more than happy to talk about data, if you've got any data of that nature. If you do, of course, that would be a world first that no one had ever heard of before, and it would be a shock because that data does not exist.
I thought you might say that.
Mostly interview format, Professor Kay's knowledge and quick wit are unmatched and equally entertaining.
And the young Mr. Joey was an honorable mention.
Yep, he was an honorable mention on our list. Joey's 19 years old. He was 18 not too long ago.
I'm here on my last day in Ljubljana, Slovenia, where I will be discussing the 10 ways in which the carnivore diet has changed my life. And while doing so, I'm going to be eating these 12 raw quail eggs, some kefir, and a couple of raw burger patties.
Brilliant, articulate young kid. And his YouTube channel's really exploded. We don't consume interview content very much, but when he popped up on the scene, we checked out a few of his videos. And Professor Bart Kay, you know, I'll check on him once in a while. If he's got a cool guest on, I'll check it out. But we don't really, you know, like I said, like interview format very much. Now, Professor Kay had featured Joey on his channel, you know, kind of highlighting what a bright kid he was. And, you know, Joey's a great thing for the carnivore community because he brings in a lot of youth.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you don't see many people his age advocating for the carnivore diet. But recently, his views have kind of strayed a little bit. And about 5-6 weeks back, a couple of our members of our community reached out to us, and they were pretty confused because they saw a video from Joey Schwartz called "You Are Doing Carnivore Incorrectly: 9 Crucial Rules." And, you know, these people were fairly new to the carnivore diet, and they had actually found Joey's channel after watching our top 10 video. So they went to his channel and they saw this video and it really confused them, so they reached out to us. So I watched the video, and you saw that one. And he says some strange things that I'd never heard him say before. Here's a couple clips.
In this video, I'm simply going to talk about 9 different implementations you should consider making if you're not already doing them. This is very important. It can mean the difference between failing and succeeding, so I recommend you listen to this video and hear what I have to say. Number 1, stop eating so much ground beef. Ground beef is not something that we would have consumed in an ancestral context.
Stop eating so much ground beef. And this really confused a couple people because on our channel, we've eaten ground beef the better part of 8-9 months. So, and we've thrived on it. Yeah, so it was confusing.
The thing, when we're eating an animal, we're taking a big hunk of the animal and we're biting into it, we're working our jaw muscles, we're ripping it off the bone, we're grabbing all the collagen and stuff. We're not eating this soft, ground up beef that doesn't work our mouth muscles at all. Part of the beauty of carnivore is that it's natural, and forcing our jaws to work is one of the things that makes it and so ancestral. We want to have a well-developed jawline, and eating meat that isn't already grounded up for us is very important for that.
So we want to have a strong jawline, and eating meat is important for that. Well, I'll tell you what gets you a strong jawline is losing 80, 90 pounds. You know, your jaw starts looking a little more square. Yeah, and what he said there, chewing meat instead of ground beef strengthens your jaw, and he made that like an important point, and that really confused some people. So that's the first time I had ever heard anything like that about ground beef, and I was a little shocked, but there was also some comments he made in this video about eating fat to lose fat and your salt intake. So let's take a look at that.
It's very clear to me that prioritizing protein is better for fat loss, not prioritizing fat. And from what I've seen, from what I've observed, from what I've learned, this is a very clear truth. Next, salt. Now this is an interesting one, and it appears to be highly variable. Salt, of course, is not a plant, it is a rock, and I don't think that we need it for optimal health. In fact, I know we don't need it for optimal health because salt wasn't actually introduced.
I know we don't need it for optimal health.
No.
Yeah, that's. I think this is where Joey's getting in trouble. You know, like we're a carnivore lifestyle channel. We're normal people. If there's any medical advice or anything anybody wants to know about nutrition, you know, Dr.
Barry,
Professor Bart Kay, Dr. Sean Baker, you know, they're the professionals. They have the word doctor in front of their name for a reason.
They are the medical experts.
Absolutely.
This kid read a few books, a few studies, and
sharp kid. He reminds us a lot of our son.
There's no doubt he is extremely intelligent young man.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know it all.
No.
He's 19.
No.
He's a kid.
And Bart Kay sets him straight here, and it's if you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty brutal.
Until about 5,000 years ago, at which point it was highly treasured. We were using it a lot, actually, consuming sometimes 40 to 100 grams of salt per day, and now they're saying limited at 2.3 grams of sodium. So we weren't getting heart attacks back then, but we get them now. So clearly it's not the salt itself that's causing the heart attacks, because we were eating much more of it then and didn't get the problem that we're having now. So clearly that's out of the picture. However, it's still a rock, and it still worries me. So I personally don't consume salt, but I don't know what it's doing. I don't think we know enough, and to me, erring on the side of caution is best. Furthermore, I see that people who cut out salt tend to feel better, and they don't go back to adding it.
The vast majority of people we've encountered and dealt with, salts. Give me some salts.
Salt is extremely beneficial.
Yeah, they don't do better if they cut out their salt. So after seeing this video, we thought about doing a reaction video for our community. You know, so like, don't get confused. Just listen to the doctors in the community. You know, don't listen to Joey Schwartz to get your important information. You know, Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Baker, Barry,
always
the
Barry.
Godfather Barry, Professor Bart Kay. You know, these guys know what they're talking about. They're all in the same class. We're Joey Schwartz and Carnivore Quest, we're in the same class. We're high school educated folks advocating for the carnivore diet. You know, Joey's in the informational niche, and Cassie and I are in the weight loss niche.
Well,
you know,
differences. We've got about 30 more years of life experience and
yeah.
failing on diets and knowing
Right.
what works, and we've been our own guinea pigs, essentially.
Yeah, and that's the key to the carnivore diet, is finding out what works for you. Mm-hmm. You know, there is no one way. It's kind of like listening to a good preacher. You know, you listen to 4 or 5 good preachers, and then you read the Bible yourself, and you put it all together. You know, you listen to the experts, and then you do your diet, and you really figure some things out on your own. You just get a little guidance. Without further ado, let's jump in here and see what Professor Kay has to say to Joey. It's got kind of a Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker vibe, if you know what I mean.
I'm excited for this one. I am.
Cassie has not seen this. Mm-hmm. I saw the video, and then I cut it down into a few clips, and so she's reacting fresh right along with you guys who haven't seen it. So here we go.
Once again, where I'm dealing with Joey's latest video at the behest of a number of you, I've had a number of requests to have a look at this video. So what the hell, let's have a look at it. Joey has, as I have said a couple of times already on my channel at various times, Joey has, in my opinion, left the right course. He has left the building. He is going in the wrong direction, I believe, to both the detriment of his own channel, I would suggest probably, and also ultimately to the detriment of making sure that people get good, robust, sound information about diet, etc. Basically what's happened is that Joey has had a great deal of success very quickly with a lot of assistance from a bunch of standard carnivore diet advisors, frankly, who have had him on their channels and promoted him and pointed out his articulate nature and his intelligence. Unfortunately, that's got the better of Joey, in my opinion, and his hubris and ego have got the better of him. I hope that he learns his lesson out of all of this, because this will cost him quite significantly in his growth, both as a person and also as a YouTube creator or influencer as well. You can't just come online and say whatever you want, Joey, without that being subject to some fairly robust analysis of the correctness and veracity of what you have to say. So that's what you're going to get from yours truly, this bad bald man today. I'm sorry to do it to you, son, but it's not really me doing this to you. It's you've done it to yourself. Okay, so let's hear what Joey had to say, and we'll put him right where I think he might be wrong. Okay, off you go.
Well,
I told you.
Yeah, he laid down a little smackdown right there.
Yeah, I think he said what a lot of us were thinking, who were following this little saga,
Ego?
Yeah.
He hit that one. That word definitely popped into my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell Professor Kay is fond of Joey, and almost like he's disappointed.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's brutal.
I would be disappointed too.
At the time we're recording this video, Joey hasn't responded at all on his channel. He uploads like 2-3 videos a day, and for 4 or 5 days, he hasn't made a video. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm interested to see how he reacts to this, because he's well known for his reaction videos. So
we're all doing well today. Just want to preface this by saying, if you want the same eat meat, drink water idea regurgitated, then go watch some other carnivore channels.
Yeah, a lot of people have done in the last week or so, Joey, because a lot of people are pretty disappointed with the direction you've taken.
If you want to hear the truth that they haven't realized yet.
Oh, okay, my bad, my mistake, Joey. That's the thing, is it? Okay. People like me who have been studying this field, publishing, researching in this field as a scientist, as an independent scientist, as a senior academic in the area, for longer than you've been alive, Joey, just haven't realized it. And you've got the answer that we don't realize. Great. Tell us what it is.
Then stick around. I also want you to consider my incentives in making a video like this. This is the way I like to look at the world now. Like, what are they incentivized to do? So I want you to think about this for a second. Carnivore is blowing up right now. And I'm making a video like this that's going against a lot of the standard carnivore ideas. I could easily stick to it and grow my channel a lot more if I were to just adhere, but I'm not going to do that because I don't believe that standard carnivore diet, the average one that you were all probably doing, is right. So
okay, fine, Joey, you don't believe it's right, but on what basis? I presume that's what you're going to provide us pretty good solid evidence for in this video. We'll give you that opportunity.
I'm going to give my critiques, and I want you to really think about why I'm doing this. It's not to grow the channel, right?
No, this will be costing you, Joey. This will be destroying your credibility. This will be slowing your growth down, if not stopping it entirely. And you may even find that your subscriber base will shrink out of all of this. Because frankly, son, nobody's impressed at all with what you're doing here.
video on Canberry lost a lot of subscribers.
There you go. Rightly so.
People were angry about it. They were angry.
Rightly so.
That I was criticizing him.
Rightly so. You've got no business criticizing Ken Berry. Son. Show some respect to your elders and betters. Simple as that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you knew he made that video, but you never saw it. To where he, like, downed Canberry for the coffee.
I heard about it.
Yeah. Which was like, wow. You know, at the time I was thinking, is he just doing that to get Canberry's attention and have him react? But
maybe.
But Canberry ain't gonna play that game. And that was Bart. Professor Kay. I think just speaking of what a lot of us were thinking, it's a shame. I'm hoping Joey. I'm waiting to hear what he has to say. Let's just say that I'm rooting for him. You know, get back on track. You got anything to add about the Godfather getting hit by him? Huh?
Well, I mean, come on. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you, Joey? He's helped millions, and he's going to continue to do so. And I don't know. It's amazing. It's really not. He's a 19-year-old kid.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. He's a 19-year-old kid. Joey, you don't know.
Yeah.
One day you will. But right now you don't. So, as Bart said, you know, you have no business.
You wouldn't even recognize me at 19 years old, or Cassie. Mm-hmm. You know, we're completely different people. Wisdom comes with age. That's a fact, and experience.
Yes.
Yes.
And he'll get it.
Yeah.
He'll get there one day.
Or endorsing coffee.
He didn't. That's a misrepresentation. That's unacceptable.
Professor K's video is about an hour long. I only took a few more clips. That was the intro. But this next one...
Really?
Yeah.
He roasted him, huh?
Yeah, he did. He picked apart this video quite a bit. This next segment's on grain-fed versus grass-fed. And, he didn't hold back. Even though he did. He wasn't as ferocious as he usually is to people. He held back a little bit with Joey.
Well, I'm interested in this one, you know, being that I do work at a butcher shop, and I am well aware of the grading and the loopholes that are involved to call things grass-fed and grain-fed, and the differences with quality of meat.
There is no reason whatsoever to avoid grain-finished, grain-fed beef if that's what you can access and that's what you can afford. It still, nutritionally, has a perfectly adequate profile. It is not significantly less quality than grass-fed. Neither is it significantly less polluted with toxins, the grass-fed, as compared to the grain, at all.
I completely agree with Professor Kay on this. You can only eat what you can afford. If it's not in your budget,
it's not in your budget.
It's not in your budget. Not only that, grain-fed beef tastes so much better.
It does, and that's all we eat.
That's where the fat comes from. That's where the flavor comes from.
Yeah.
That's where...
We had grass-fed one time. I didn't like the way it tasted.
I think I had an allergic reaction to it.
Really?
Remember, I wasn't feeling well the next day. We had that ground beef, and I thought I had come down. This was about a month ago. I thought I had come down with a cold. And then I mentioned that, and somebody said that they had grass-fed beef. And they came down with something like, it was the same night or whatever. And I thought that was very interesting. I thought, well, maybe, I don't know.
It is not significantly less quality than grass-fed. Neither is it significantly less polluted with toxins, the grass-fed, as compared to the grain, at all.
This next clip deals with eating raw meat versus cooked meat and genetics. And they discuss Dr. Anthony Chaffee and Dr. Baker. So this is pretty trippy. You ready?
Okay.
Now, something else that people like to point to when justifying the consumption of cooked meat,
we don't need to justify it
exclusively, is the physiques of Sean Baker and Anthony Chaffee, who look very, very good, look very, very healthy. So N equals 2. So what? I'm saying it's true that raw meat is best. Well, why are they so fit? The reason they do well is because they have elite genetics. Now,
Oh, right, of course. Elite genetics, that's what it is.
there's a massive variation in a person's ability to expunge toxins, to regulate electrolytes, to regulate nutrient stores, so on and so forth.
So can you please point us, Joey, to your published genetic analysis of Doctors Baker and Chafee, please?
Oh, this guy.
Doesn't he seem like an uncle upset with his nephew?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, son?
And, yeah, I think they're pretty close behind the scenes, and I think that's why, you know, you can see that irritation and disappointment in Professor Kay's face and in his tone.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. His tone is definitely changing.
Just because people do well with a cooked meat diet for some time, it doesn't mean that it's optimal. People
It also doesn't mean that it's dangerous and destitute, which is what you are implying in this video, because it's not.
do well on vegan diets for a period of time.
Well, for a very short period of time. I'm 8 years in and I'm doing better than I've ever done with my health.
All of these are very, very important to consider.
No, they're not, Joey. They're just noise coming from a basically completely inexperienced young man who has got his ego out of whack and has forgotten entirely where his place in the carnivore community actually is and what role it is that he has imagined to play within this community for the betterment of all of us. You've completely lost the plot on that.
This next clip deals with, do you have to eat organic meat? And, you know, Professor Kay puts him in line.
I'm sure you're already going to know our stance on that anyway, how we already, because of the way that we feel about grain-fed beef.
Yeah.
As long as you eat organic foods, you can be very healthy. You know,
No, they don't have to be organic. And organic is a buzz term. It's a sales marketing strategy, Joey, to make you believe that the quality of the stuff under this banner of organicness is better somehow. You've been had. It's not. It still came from the same planet, the same polluted planet. It has the same issues, ostensibly, as other things. Don't be a fool. Well, don't be so much of a fool. Pull back the foolishness, son.
I hope what I've said makes sense.
No, it doesn't, Joey. It's been absolute rancid, pustulous garbage from start to finish. It's been the ramblings of a boy who has basically lost the plot. You should be embarrassed that you made a video this bad, this lacking, this destitute. And you should be ashamed of yourself for the lack of respect that you are showing to a number of well-known, well-credentialed, well-knowledgeable, well-experienced commentators in this area in your little slur video here. The very same people that helped you succeed in building your channel from basically nothing. Right, you reap what you sow, son. Look out for that.
Is good for a person at a period of time doesn't make the diet optimal by any means. All these things are relative, right? And this is a point I've been trying to stress. These things are all relative. If you look at a cooked carnivore diet relative to a standard diet, it's an incredibly good diet and an amazing diet relative to a standard one. But if we look at a cooked carnivore diet relative to a diet that incorporates lots and lots of raw meat, oh my, this is not even on the same level.
Okay, well, prove that. Show us some data to underpin that claim. It does not exist, Joey. This is your opinion. You need to pull your head in, wind your neck in, start again, ask for forgiveness, both from your viewership and also from some of the major influencers and commentators in this area who are credentialed, knowledgeable, experienced in life and in this area. You're young enough. We'll accept that you made a mistake, a series of mistakes in the last few weeks. We can wipe the slate clean and you can start again, but you owe us all an apology. Make it happen.
Okay.
And there it was, you know, hopefully Joey does some thinking. Like I said, he hasn't posted anything on his channel in a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing his response. You know, we're like you guys. We're watching from the sidelines too. It's like, is he gonna contact him behind the scenes, or or is Joey gonna come out with some explosive video? I don't know. It's kind of dramas like this don't happen in the carnivore community very often. So.
No, because we're all so chill.
Yeah, we all get along. What Professor Kay said there at the end, that's your opinion. That's the entire cake right there. It's Joey's opinion, and his 19-year-old opinion. Just like Larry and Cassie's opinion. We highlight our carnivore journey, show you what's working for us, but we always say do you, and if you need some advice, some medical advice, or some reassurance that the carnivore diet is healthy, all the carnivore doctors out there we mentioned before, and there's even more, they have a plethora of information, and that's where you go to get information like that. Joey's like us. He's for entertainment, and I think he'd be a real important voice for our community. Bring in younger people, educate them.
I agree. Joey made a mistake. He's going to make several mistakes because he is so young.
Absolutely.
He was lifted up. He was given a helping hand, and he ran with it, and his ego got in the way. And again, he's 19. His discernment obviously isn't very good, and he's still learning his own way too. But he will be a powerhouse if he shuts his trap and just learns. Yeah, he will. He's really gonna he's gonna be a mover and shaker in the carnivore world.
Another thing too is he might have got a little burned out. Joey was putting out like 3 videos a day. I mean, it's interview content. There's not much editing and stuff, but still, that's still a schedule to be interviewing all those people, and might have got a little burned out, or he might have ran out of content ideas. So just trying to be shocking, I don't know. All I know is he's got potential. Let us know what you guys think of this current carnivore drama. How's it gonna go? What do you think? Think Joey will come out with a rebuttal video?
An apology?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple different things that could happen. So we'll be watching on the sidelines with you guys. I've never talked to either one of these gentlemen, but I have talked to people who have dealt with them. Said they're both very cool. So I'm sure it'll get worked out.
If it hasn't already.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's been 5-6 days since Professor Kay uploaded this. So we would have had this out sooner, but I recently made that video about Mr. M. Which by the time you guys see this, that video should already be out. So that's a video I had to make. I'll tell you something, after I made that video, I felt so much better. At the end of the video, you can see it in my face. It's crazy.
All the drama in the carnivore diet community. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us for a little bit. We enjoy these reaction videos once in a while. Yeah, this was, we've never done it together.
We've never done one
So
together.
This was fun.
It was, and it was cool that you hadn't seen it. She kind of knew what was going to happen. But
well, sure, I had the
context.
gist of it. I mean, there's been a buzz for sure.
Yeah, especially in all the carnivore groups, saw people talking about it, and we'll see what happens.
All right, do us a favor, y'all. Hit the like button for us. If you see that little subscribe button down there and you haven't hit it yet, we'd appreciate that too. Also, if you are on Instagram, so are we. You can find us there at carnivore.quest.
Until next time, gang, remember, no sugar, no carbs.
No cheating.
Later.